Benny1, and I'm back at you with another X-Men movie review, everybody. And we are moving on to X-Men Dark Phoenix, everybody. And you know what? I'm going to start this review off by saying this Phoenix storyline is not as bad as the one that they told in X3, The Last Stand. They did a better job with the Phoenix saga in this movie. Did they do a way better job with it? We'll get to it. We'll talk about it. Because, no, they did not. They did not knock it out of the ballpark. It was better. This movie's directed by Simon Kingsberg, everybody. He's been a producer on all of the X-Men movies up until this point, and he finally gets to direct one of these movies. And I think he did a good job directing. For this being his debut film, as far as being a director, I don't know how much he had to. I think he wrote the movie too. I'm pretty sure he wrote the movie. That part he didn't do such a great job with, but I thought he did a good job directing the movie. And I remember watching the special features, and the cast really enjoyed working for him, and they were all happy that he finally got his shot to direct one of these movies. So that's cool. Like the writing aspect, he could have done better, but you know, it's whatever. So yeah, this movie picks up after X-Men Apocalypse, which there's something I didn't say in my X-Men Apocalypse review. At the very end, and it's something I don't like about this movie, we got to see Mystique giving the X-Men, Cyclops, Jean, Storm, Beast, Nightcrawler, and Quicksilver, we got to see her giving them a speech about how they're not kids no more. They're X-Men, and they're ready to battle. They're training. And they're in the most comic book accurate costumes that we have gotten to date in an X-Men movie. They literally are so, like, they were great. That, in my opinion, all of them, Mystique, Cyclops, Storm, Beast, Nightcrawler, Quicksilver, Jean, they all had a great mixture of a live action representation of their comic book costumes that were in like the 80s, 90s, and then that 90s cartoon. Perfect representation in a live action movie for those costumes. They looked phenomenal, and we only got to see it at the very end of the movie in X-Men Apocalypse. So you're like, oh cool, they'll be in the next movie. No, we get them. Okay, this movie takes place in the 90s. We literally, when we get to see them, they're wearing matching costumes that are dark navy blue with a yellow X just going across the top half. That is it. Okay, I'll give you credit. You brought us back the yellow and blue costumes that were in X-Men First Class, even though they look a little different. They're very rigid. They remind me of Star Trek outfits, like the Star Trek uniforms from like Next Generation, Deep Space Nine. They remind me of that shit, which I love, don't get me wrong, but damn it, we had these perfect comic book costumes that were in a movie barely, and all you had to do was just have these guys keep wearing those costumes, maybe tweak them a little bit more, because it's been quite a few years since we've seen them last. Ah, man, what a misstep. What a missed opportunity, you guys. Come on. You guys could have sold toys, all sorts of stuff. But that's another thing about this movie. I feel like this movie is dark. It's very dark. It's the Dark Phoenix saga. This movie got really serious, like, compared to some of the other X-Men movies. Like, they were taking a pretty grounded, real serious approach to this whole Dark Phoenix storyline. I love the music. You want to know why I love the music in the movie? Hans Zimmer did the music in this movie. And if he's doing your music in your movie, it's going to up it a level at least, no matter how bad it is. So the music in the movie, awesome. Loved it. He did a great job. I think they did a good job showing Jean as, like, the Phoenix character. Like, now, as far as how it totally got turned on with that whole crazy solar flare thing that these aliens are after, they're like the Skrull, kind of. I don't know if they're the Skrull. They don't really say if they're the Skrull from the Marvel comics. They kind of look like they are, which is weird. I don't know. I don't I'm not 100% sure if that's really how Jean gets the Phoenix thing kicked up in her. I don't think it is. From what I remember reading in the comics and the animated show and all that shit, I don't think it is. So that was kind of a weird decision. But once she starts going all Dark Phoenix and stuff and starts turning bad, like they really show her struggling. Like there's one scene where they show her in an alley and it's raining and she's just crying and she's rubbing blood off of her because Raven, Mystique, dies in this movie, people. She dies, which is cool. Or it's not cool. Jesus, it's not cool that she died. I'm okay with it. Wow, why did I say cool? It's okay that she died, but like the one thing I didn't know about what they were doing with Mystique is they lightened her up. She was like light blue instead of the normal blue that she has been in all the other X-Men movies. She was like light blue. I don't know what that was all about. Maybe she been hanging out in the sun too long. I don't know. But yeah, she's gone. So that was an interesting thing. Interesting development. There's a fake out in this movie too. They make you think she's gonna fricking kill Xavier again, like they did in the other X-Men movie that sucked. They make you think it. But she doesn't. So, and all the characters are good in the movie. I mean, all of our cast is. Quicksilver's not in this movie a whole lot, because he kind of gets hurt. But yeah, the cast is great. Everybody's back. I mean, we got Nightcrawler, we got Cyclops, we got Storm. Beast is back. I really like what they do with Beast and Xavier's relationship in this movie because it gets tested after Raven dies. Like, it really gets tested. Beast, like, he loses it on friggin' Xavier. He's had enough of him because Xavier, his melon has blown up. He has a complex, like a god complex almost in this movie. And they totally dive into it about him and his X-Men because they work with the government. He literally has a phone that's a direct line. It reminded me of the Batman 66 show, like, Batman, we have problem. Like, it has an X on it and everything, and the president has one on his desk. And like, I mean, they literally were working with the government, and they show them getting off of their X-Jet after that main mission in the beginning, and like the crowd's cheering them on, and woo, they're superheroes. Like, interesting. I mean, it's cool. It's a cool evolution to see from X-Men First Class to that. Like, that literally Xavier achieved what he's been trying to achieve the whole time. It was cool to see it. And then literally, like he says in the movie, all it takes is one bad day and it all will go back to the way it was. And sure as shit, when Jean starts going crazy, that's all it took. That's all it took. That's all it took. There's a scene where Xavier's on the phone telling the president, don't do this. They cut the phone line and it's done. They're like, this phone won't ever be on again, and cut it. Just hung up on his ass and unhooked it. Like, it's crazy. So I don't know. The Dark Phoenix, it's an interesting movie because I do like things about it, and I do like things that they were doing in it. But then there's also things that weren't so good. The movie was short. Super short. It was like, I think when the credits hit, I don't even think it was an hour and 50 minutes long when the credits hit. It was super short. It should have been over 2 hours long. It really should have been over 2 hours long. And Magneto, I didn't really like what was going on with Magneto in this movie. I felt like that's another thing, the budget. I felt like they did not have the greatest budget for this movie, and maybe it's because they spent a lot of money on Apocalypse and it didn't do so well. So Fox was like, okay, we're gonna let you guys make this movie, but we're gonna dial it back a bit on the money flow because your last movie didn't produce what we wanted. So, but yeah, the budget seemed to. I just feel the movie felt a little restricted with the special effects because some of the CGI in this movie, not good. But then some of it is amazing. But some of it, it looks pretty bad at times. It really, really does. So, yeah, it's an interesting movie. I mean, we get to see characters that have been teaming together through all four of these movies actually go against each other this time, mainly Beast and Xavier. So there's some interesting dynamics that are flipped in the movie with our characters. It's an interesting movie. It's kind of a sad thing that the main X-Men line of movies ended with Fox, because Disney purchased Fox not very long after this came out. And it's kind of sad that that's how it all ended, was with this movie. So even though we did get New Mutants, but so it's an interesting movie. So I'm gonna give it like probably I'm gonna give it 2.5 sabers out of 5. That's my new rating system. You guys will have to let me know if you guys like it. I don't know. I've just been trying to think of something different to do as my rating system besides the normal numbers. So we're going to give this one 2.5 sabers out of 5 sabers, everybody, for X-Men Dark Phoenix. Thanks for watching the review. I appreciate it. And I'll be catching you on Tube later because I have spoken.